I want to point out that burnout is not just feeling tired. Burnout is the actual practice of your resources, your energetic resources, your financial resources being expended at a faster rate that they are being replenished. And when that happens, you run out and you're not able to do all of the things that you say are so important to you. And that is the thing that we don't want to have happen. It is more important to live a life that you love and to be able to sustainably do that rather than to do things that you think you have to do just because you think you have to do it and then be exhausted the entire time. The first step of recognizing burnout is recognizing the signs and symptoms that show up in your body. Being fatigued, exhausted, irritable, frustrated. These are all actually signs of burnout, because when you are burning or expending energy and resources in a way that either brings you joy and is sustainable, you're not going to experience those same feelings or those same frustrations. The unfortunate thing is that so many people have accepted this just as a natural point of life. Like, your back has hurt for so long that you don't even remember how it feels for it not to hurt type of acceptance. But that does not have to be the case. And so in today's video, I'm going to give you 12 different practices that you can start to recover from burnout. Now, it's really important that you know you do not get what you want. You get what you believe. So if you believe that your resources are worth preserving and investing in, then you'll do these things. All right, so this is what you want to do. Tip number 1. When you wake up in the morning, I wonder, when the first thought that you have, do you reach for your phone? Do you think, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, this bed's so comfortable. Like, what is the very first thought that you have of the day? The recommendation that I have is that let your first thought be one that is an asset to you. Let your first thought be one that is recognizing what you are grateful for or thankful for. So every morning, the first thing that I do when I wake up, before I reach for my phone, which I do, is I say thank you to myself, to the God that sent me, and to my body for making it through. And so just simply starting your day with a energy of praise and an energy of thanksgiving can change the trajectory of how you move through your morning. Another practice is I like to look from the inside out. And what I mean by that is I like to actually turn my eyes inward and start to find the spaces in my body and actually thank each and every joint for showing up today. Hey, hip, I see you. Thank you, girl. Hey, toes, you down there. Yes. Come on back. Right? Like, I actually will thank my body for moving through, because after you reach a certain age, okay, breathe is another practice. This one is so commonly said, and it's obviously known that you need to breathe. But one of the ways that I like to think about it is that the sound of my breath is actually me listening to the audible soul, right? Because the soul, the spirit that powers my body, I get to hear her when I breathe. And what's cool with the neurology of it all, right, is when we breathe in, more oxygen coming into the body and then releasing it out on a slow, steady cadence actually changes the structure of the body. And it will allow you to calm down, to process, and to move. If you don't breathe, you need to practice that a little bit more. Another one that I like to do is affirm your space. Okay, so the things that we like to do often are ideas for the future, or we're thinking about the past. But the best gift that you can give yourself is showing up in the present moment. It is actually grounding down into your physical space and creating ways to allow you to flow through that space, making it more convenient for you to access and find your things. giving yourself access to colors and sounds that just bring you pleasure and joy. Really just making it easier to sit and be in your space is a way to reverse burnout, because if it's not hard for you to get from one side of the room to another, imagine how many curse words you can save, right? Imagine how much your feet will thank you for not stepping on something or a toy, or how easily it will be to preserve your memory if you don't have to remember where everything is if you've put it back. Another practice similar to creating a space that is enjoyable is the practice of decluttering. I'm gonna tell you what, I love to declutter. Anytime I feel anxious or, kind of overwhelmed energetically, I'll clean up. You know why? Because the outside is a reflection of your internal form. So if your home space or just surrounding is chaotic, imagine what's going on the inside. And so instead of trying to go inside and working all of that stuff out, you can put the brain on pause, right? Use those hands and just start to move things around, declutter and clean the space. And that will shift your energy as well. Another tip, make a decision. Let me tell you something. The amount of energetic capital that is being stocked and stored in your brain for indecisiveness is ridiculous. I'm telling you, the faster that you can make a decision on something that you have been toiling over or thinking over, you will literally regain energy back, because you're going to release the requirement to keep expending it in a cycle over that same decision. So one of the most simple practices to recover from burnout is to make a decision. One of my favorite practices is to go outside. I am both an introvert, believe it or not. Yes, I am. And I work 100% remote. And so I love being in my own space, being with my own thoughts. And quite frankly, I don't have to go outside if I don't want to. And so I am so intentional about going outside, because being in the air, and I live in Florida, so you're going to have to figure out how this works for you depending on what climate you're in. But getting some sun, getting some wind on your face, allowing, the earth to just interact with your physical form can do wonders for reviving your energy. Practice number 8, reclaim your time. Hey, Auntie Maxine. This is so true, okay? Oftentimes you are giving your energy and your time away to things that you think you have to do, that you don't actually have to do. They might be nice to do, but you're choosing to do them. So if you're going to choose to do them, choose to do the things that are valuable to do. Choose to do the things that bring you joy. If you are constantly spending your time and your energy in activities that are drawing and sucking away from you, either financially or energetically, decide to stop. There are more than enough ways that I can show you how, but that in of itself is a significant key to reversing burnout. Speaking of which, create an energy budget, okay? Now, on my energy budget, I have a line item. I'm not going to say that word today, but I have a certain line item for cares that I can give, okay? And I only give certain cares away to certain things. And once my cares have been exceeded in that line item, then they're exceeded. I also have line items in my energetic budget to restore my energy, doing activities that bring me joy. And guess what? Sitting still is a whole activity. Yes, it is. One of my most favorite practices that I want you to try is stop going to ineffective meetings. Now, don't get me wrong. I love meetings. I literally meet all day. I have meetings, but every meeting that I ever have where I am meeting in the mind, or I am collaborating with a person, there is an agenda, there is an objective, or there is a decision being made. If those things are happening, then baby, that's not a meeting. That's a gathering and not a good use of your time. And so instead of being frustrated by the amount of time on your day that's taken up by meetings, stop. That will reverse burnout. Okay, I've got 2 more for you. Do a digital detox. Digital detoxes are so helpful when it comes to reversing burnout, because you might forget how frequently we're looking at screens, whether it's through work or through our phones or just general activities. And our physical brains get tired. Our eyeballs get tired, you know? So I would strongly recommend practicing giving yourself a hiatus, giving yourself a break for whatever period of time so that you can then redirect that energy to doing something more kinetic, more tangible, more material to really allow your energy to flow in a different way. The last tip that I have for you to prevent or reverse burnout is practice keeping your word to yourself. Make yourself a promise and then do it. Tell yourself, I am going to do this thing at this time on this day. Put it in your calendar, make it like a date, and do it. Whatever it is. I promise you, the more you practice setting intention for what you want to do, the more you practice then keeping your word to yourself and then doing it, I promise you that will fuel the engine that will prevent burnout permanently. Okay? All right. If you found these tips helpful, please like and subscribe and share this video.